over to you.
Awesome. Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Lindsay. Let me go ahead and also share my screen, and you all will let me know, of course, if you can't see it, because y'all know we have all done the internet thing long enough now. I've been doing it since before the COVID, but I know we've all been doing it long enough now to where we know things happen. They just do. Okay, so everyone can see my screen. Yes, you guys can see that. Okay. So, if you've been here before, you know how this works. In the chat, I need you to introduce yourselves. So, we are not just Ohio today, we are all over the mid regions and probably even parts of the South. So go ahead, everyone in the chat, tell us who you are, what your business is, and kind of what you're hoping to get out of this workshop. Who you are, what your business is, where you are also, because we want to know if you are in uh, St. Louis, my hometown. I'd love to know, like, where are you at? So where are you? And what your business is and all that jazz. And then we're going to jump right on into it. Also, if you have a name where there's some reason I'm not going to be able to figure it out, I'm pretty good at figuring out names. If you guys have been here before, you know that I'm pretty good at reading the name and going, that says Dahlia. Then, then just let me know how to, don't ever let me pronounce your name wrong. That's like my big pet peeve in life, right? So if your name is Christine and I call you Christina, just be like, no, Lindsay, that says Christine. Okay, so that's the easiest way to catch me. Oh my goodness, we have someone from all the way out in California. We have lots of people from here in Ohio and someone originally from St. Louis. Thank you, Danielle, for shouting it out. So yes, go ahead and tell me all your stuff, where you are, what you're doing. Tom, hi Tom. So there's a few of you who have been in a lot of my workshops, and then also Tom that I know from the real world. So go ahead and tell everybody who you are. Tell me who you are. I'd love to know. And then we're going to get started. If you see me looking around, you know I have multiple screens up and a camera right in front of me. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, while you're doing that, I told y'all to introduce yourselves. We got lots of Chicago in the house, y'all. Apparently, Chicago is all over it today. I'm going to introduce myself while you're introducing yourself. So I'm Lindsay. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I am the Grow with Google coach for Ohio, and I'm also the founder and CEO of a brand called Certified Marketing Pro. I am realizing that I'm probably going to need to change the name of my business because when I Google it, I am competing with certificate programs, and I don't want to do that. So, and it's a real brand new change. I'm not worried about it. If I change it, it's not got, I have no SEO value in this name. But the reason why I am certified marketing pro is because I've actually been doing marketing with small businesses for over 10 years. And I, prior to that, had multiple degrees in political science. So I am not a marketing degree person, but because I got into it and it's something that I absolutely love doing, I went all in on certifications and got a lot of knowledge and I gained a lot of experience doing client work. But I wanted to like validate the information that I had. And I'm sure a bunch of you are familiar with that concept as well. Plus, I'm a professor. And so part of what I wanted to do for myself and for the students that I work with was to say, hey, you can learn even after you get out of school. Okay. So that's who I am. That's my story. And I'm delighted to be here hanging out with you all. And again, a lot of the people in this room have been in several workshops together too. We got other professors in the house. It's amazing how much we all have in common. Okay. Okay. So, what you're going to do now that you're telling me who you are, like I said, there is a ton of Chicago here today. We are going to talk about what your goals are. So, this is a workshop all about advertising. And the number one thing I want us to get out of this is that there should be something that you are trying to get out of the advertising. We are not just advertising for no reason. So, what is it that you want the ads to do? And if you've been here before, you know I'm a show and tell person. So I'm not just going to show you, I'm not just going to tell you in this workshop stuff. I'm going to actually show you things. And for all of you who are wondering, I am a huge fan of the fact that I love doing SCORE workshops. I love working with SCORE for a variety of reasons. They're pretty awesome people. But also, I love the fact that this is up on YouTube right now. So if you get done with this and we are going through this entire process and you're like, oh my goodness, I want to go back to that very first thing that Lindsay said, you can actually head over to the YouTube channel for SCORE right now and like right after this workshop and look at it again or tomorrow morning. You do not have to wait for the recording to be sent to you via email. So it is just available right now on YouTube. This is again one of my favorite things about this. So I have new customer acquisition, leads. What else do you all want? What is it that you want from advertising? Do you want an increased sales? So if you have a product-based business, you might want to send people to an e-commerce website so that they can buy something. Do you want foot traffic? Do you want people to come in? Even when you say sales, so we got Danielle from St. Louis saying sales. So what do we mean by sales? Do we mean sales of a product? Do we mean sales of a service? Do we mean sales of something new? Is it sales of something old? Y'all, the more we can, okay, we got sales to an e-commerce platform for a product. That's what I'm talking about. So let's start thinking, okay, Heather, I got you. Let's start thinking about what it is that we actually want. Some of us want visibility. That is a thing. So you want awareness. You want your sales, your advertising is actually just to increase the number of people who know you exist. So there's totally all of these things that you're putting in here are valid, right? So a lot of you are increasing sales to e-commerce, visibility, selling books. Yes, Marie, it can absolutely do that. So there's, oh, and then Kelly's got the primary and the secondary objective. So you might have a primary objective of customer acquisition and a secondary objective of visibility. Okay, okay. This is good. Without these things, advertising doesn't make sense. So for Heather, who is like, I don't know what I want, part of some of you are probably thinking the same thing. I don't really know why, like what the goal is for advertising. And what we're going to do is kind of go through some of these as examples and then talk about what to do to actually make them happen. So if you think about goals, if you think about what it is you want to accomplish, it's really a good idea to start out this entire advertising journey by creating something like a SMART. Kelly, that is a SMART goal, a SMART goal. And so I'm going to take Kelly, who just gave me a really good thing that she wants. She wants to show up, show that they're better than their competitors. So, and Timothy, I want it all. Timothy, we're gonna have to work on that. Okay, so Kelly wants to show up as better than her, because she wants everyone to know that she is better than her competitors. So I am going to, Kelly, what business do you have? Go ahead and type it in the chat again for me. What's your business? And we're gonna work through this example for Kelly about how to create a SMART goal. If part of the goal is visibility, part of the goal is showing off that we're better than our competitors. Kelly is, oh, I love it. Kelly is like, I'm fancy. Generative AI for associations and nonprofits. So Kelly is trying to, help these organizations to start using generative AI, which is actually not going to be hard to differentiate because a lot of people don't know how to use it at all. So if you're helping people who are specifically associations and nonprofits to leverage the technology, great. Let us start getting smart. Improve. Oh, goodness. Yes, thank you. So specific. Let's say that Kelly wants to get more associations. I'm just going to use the term associations because we got to be specific. She wants to get more associations to become her client. Now, that's the big, big, big end goal. But we want to get kind of specific about what our advertising is going to do. So let's say that over the next 90 days, Kelly wants to get 120 leads, people who are association leaders, people who are the executive directors or the associate directors of associations. And we might even get specific and say membership associations. So people who are the executive directors and associate directors of membership associations, we want them to fill out a lead generation form on Kelly's website telling her exactly what their needs are for member engagement, right? So she's using generative AI to improve member engagement. So she's going to have those people tell her what their needs are in this form. Now we made it time bound by saying 90 days. We said we want 120. I don't remember what I said, but let's say 120. That's measurable. And then we're going to use the ad itself to talk about how we're better than our competitors, okay? So we're going to say the goal is lead generation, but of course we want people to know that we're better than our competitors, and we'll talk about how to do that in a second. So all of the smartness that you're trying to do has to be around what it is you're trying to accomplish. So did everyone understand how I just created that SMART goal for Kelly? Figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish. I want leads that are qualified, meaning I need to know something about them. And I want a certain number of them. I want them in a specific time area, and I need to know something about them being relevant. Like it is like I said, the membership association who is having problems with member engagement. Like she's got all of those things right there in that one SMART goal. And that is something we can actually use advertising to address. Like we can aim ourselves at ads to do that. Now that's a service-based example. Can someone give me a product? I want someone other than Tom, because y'all have been talking about Tom for days. Everybody's like, I know enough about wine, Lindsay. Let's give me another product. So I had someone else, someone who had a book. And whoever the next person is who types in the chat is going to be the person whose product I use. So children's books. Thank you, Marie. I was like, come on, I knew there was a book. Okay, so children's books that teach civics. That's great. So did I mention that I have multiple degrees in political science? Let's do this. Okay, so if we want to do an increased sales of a children's book, right? Then what we're going to do is say we want to sell over the next every 30 days. Let's get specific, but make it more repeating. Every 30 days, we want to sell, let's say, 100 children's books to people in, and I'm going to get specific, people in Indiana, Ohio, Illinois. I'm trying to go in order. Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So we're going to target those 5 states, and we're going to target them about something specific to this region. Maybe it's a civics thing. There's lots of civics related things in the Midwest. So we can say, pull something from the book, and we're going to target them on that topic. We're going to make it specific about that thing, and we're trying to sell 100 books a month to that specific audience. Okay, so now we are doing something that's smart. We're not going to just be trying to sell children's books all over America. We are making something make sense. We're going to make something that's specific. So even with the toilet paper, y'all are probably like, Derek put in toilet paper. Y'all, I have worked with people who that is their entire business is selling maintenance related / toiletry products / cleaning supplies to businesses all over the country. So I actually work with people who sell toilet paper. They just sell a whole lot of it. So selling toilet paper might seem like a silly thing, except for that depending on what it is you're trying to do, you can absolutely make a SMART goal around selling toilet paper. So what if Derek wants to start selling that toilet paper to magnet schools? So he wants to become the toilet paper supplier for magnet schools across the South. So we are going to go Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia. We're going to sell toilet paper, and we're going to try to bring on 3 new leads, not new clients, but 3 new leads every month from each of those regions. So that's 12 new leads a month, 3 from each of those sections every month for the next 3 months. That's a SMART goal. So we're going to try to find target magnet schools. We're going to sell toilet paper to try to get them to get us to be their toilet paper supplier. So whatever you're thinking right now, so even for Heather, I hope that Heather, you're starting to get an idea of what ads jobs are. It can be anything. It can really genuinely be anything that you could be selling toilet paper. You could be selling anything. You just have to figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish. So Khan has asked the question, how do I define a lead? The answer is actually, how do you define a lead? What counts as a lead to you? And then that's what a lead is. So we'll talk about leads in a minute, but it really is, the word lead doesn't mean anything universally. It just means someone who hasn't bought something from you yet. Anybody can be a lead. You really just have to figure out how you want to determine whether someone is a lead and then what you're going to do about that. Okay. Okay. So part of the reason why we're even thinking about this, thinking about advertising, is because as small businesses, everybody in here is a small business. One of the things that a lot of people are doing right now, this is a post-COVID behavior that just kind of stayed with us, is that more and more and more people are trying to buy from businesses that are small. They're trying to buy from businesses that are near them. They're trying to buy from local businesses. They're trying to buy from small business. They're trying to do that. And when I say more and more people, I mean other businesses, because there's a lot of you in here who are selling B2B. So you are selling business to business. So if you're Derek and you're selling toilet paper, maybe Derek is selling toilet paper to individual humans like me, but he could sell a lot more toilet paper if he actually targeted magnet schools. So if we're selling business to business, Magnet schools are basically just a small business. Some of them are part of a big magnet school network, but most of them are actually pretty locally run. And so, if that's the case, they're picking their own suppliers and they want to work with people that they can actually reach out and touch. Sometimes, literally, if the toilet paper didn't arrive, right? Like, so they have to be able to actually reach out to these people and not be running to Costco or Sam's whenever they run out of toilet paper. That is really important to everyone right now. So don't feel like whatever we're saying here, don't feel like, oh, I don't have a shot. This is not something that I can do. It is absolutely something you can do. We just have to figure out how to do it for your people, for your audiences, for whatever your SMART goal is. Now, in addition to that, again, people are using search to find things. So we, might want to say, oh, everyone is using AI to search. And that is completely and utterly untrue. It is very interesting because the people who use AI all the time are the people who are using AI all the time. And people who are not using AI are not using it at all. And that is the vast majority of people. There's something like 80% of humans, period, have never used AI intentionally for anything. And so if you're like, well, search is dead, I don't know who keeps telling everyone this. That is not true. The vast majority of people are still just plain old fashioned typing things into Google and or looking it up on YouTube, which is of course the next largest search engine to Google. We are looking for things, we're looking for products, we're looking for best recommendations, and all those things we're looking to Google for. And so, yes, your audience is on these platforms and they are looking for you. Now, what is advertising good for? It is good for reaching a specific audience. It's good for controlling when you get found. And it's also good for having results you can measure. This is very challenging because a lot of other marketing doesn't give you this kind of control. Now, before we get into actually showing and telling you what to do or how to do it, I want to make one big preference. Yes, yes, yes. I am here to tell you about advertising. And yes, advertising does cost money. But what I want to say is this: I do not want you to advertise. I'm going to put a period at the end of that sentence. I do not want you to advertise. Now, I don't mean that I never want you to advertise. What I do mean is that I want you to do a bunch of other stuff to make yourself really good at organic search first. And we got workshops on, again, that YouTube channel with Score. We talked about making your website better, making it more accessible, doing a marketing plan. We've got lots of workshops up there for that. Before you start advertising, you really need to have a lot of the other things in place really good so that when you put yourself out there, it is supporting a really well functioning marketing engine already, right? Because advertising can be expensive, and I don't want any of you wasting your money. I absolutely, completely, and utterly do not want any of you wasting your money. So what we're going to do now is talk about how Google Ads works, a little bit about advertising, improving your ads, and measuring your success, stuff like that. So let's dive in. How do Google Ads work? This is my favorite of all the slides in this deck because so many people do not understand the basics of how Google Ads works. And so what actually happens is that someone types in a term, right? They type in whatever the term is for the thing is they're looking for. And then in the milliseconds that it takes for Google to do this, they're creating a search results page. And then while they're creating that search results page, they are searching through to see if anyone has bid in the advertising platform for those words that person typed in, or for words that have a very similar meaning to what that person typed in. If someone did, then that main search results is going to also show up with a set of ads at the top. Now, because Google has introduced the entire concept of the AI overview, often now when you do an advertising or you do a search, you're going to get the AI overview, then you're going to get ads, and then you're going to get your organic results. So since we're talking about ads, I also want to clarify you cannot pay to get into those AI overviews. So if you know how an AI overview works, it's sitting there and it's got a bunch of resources right there at the top. You're not paying to be in there. The best way to be in there is to have really good organic content on your website. I said, do the free stuff first, okay? And then worry about doing your ads, because you have really good organic content on your website, you will get found. That is just kind of the nature of how it works. You will get found. So the next thing is, once I have done that, how do I get myself in a position where I'm getting found with those advertising results, getting found in shopping, all of that jazz, okay? So that is how it works. And I'm going to tell you a big secret right now. It is not about who has the most money. That is not who wins. So everyone thinks that it's whoever bids the most is who wins. And that is not true. The answer is there's a bunch of stuff that goes into who wins, but a huge portion of it is how relevant it is to the person who's searching. So if you can make the search relevant to the person who's searching, you win. It doesn't matter like how much someone else bids. If your search is more relevant, that is going to weigh a lot more. So what I'm talking about there is called ad rank. It absolutely fluctuates based on competition, context, and quality. So you're going to rank first based on how many other people are competing for that term. So if you are talking about and the term that we're talking about here is the keyword term that your customer is putting into the internet. So not the keyword term that you're using, but the customer itself is putting into the internet. Whoever else is looking for that term, whoever else is bidding for that term is your competition. There may not be anyone else bidding for that term. That's where I want most of us to live, is in the land where we are not actually competing with a ton of people. In reality, we are like competing with the algorithm, and it matters if we have really great context, quality, all of those things, because we're not competing against a bunch of people. You really want to live there as much as possible. So if you realize when I gave those a couple of examples of SMART goals, I always restricted it to a region. I did that on purpose because if you're trying to compete with everyone in the United States who's selling toilet paper, it's going to be very difficult. If you're also trying to compete with everyone in the United States who is selling toilet paper to magnet schools, you're also going to be, it's just so much competition. It's competition on top of competition on top of competition. But if you start narrowing that focus down to areas like the South, or narrowing it down to the Midwest, or narrowing it down to the east or the southeast or the northeast, like, or the northwest, like narrowing these things down to a region that's easy for you to get a handle on and to make really good ads, then we can start making some magic happen with this ad rank. And the ad rank is what determines how much you gonna pay. So we want to make sure that we are paying attention to that, because if we can do this well, then we won't pay. Oh, Susan asks a great question. Can you get too narrow? The answer is Google will let you know if you're too narrow. So if you have picked an audience that is too small for them to advertise to, they will let you know. Now, mind you, there's almost no such thing. So even if you say, I want to focus on magnet schools, or like I said, membership associations, or all of these types of organizations, you can narrow that down to membership organizations in Cleveland, and you would have hundreds of them. Like it would still be hundreds. And so it's amazing because it's, for the most part, you're not going to be worrying about being too narrow. It's very unlikely that you're going to get too narrow. But Susan, maybe you're going to tell me you sell a super niche product and that narrowness is something that you are challenged with. Well, we might end up with that issue. Okay. And we really, and Kelly, we want to avoid that whole need for a data scientist to figure this whole thing out, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you make this stuff pretty simple. Now, in addition to having your ads show up in search, you can also have them show up in a bunch of other places. When we walk through in a few minutes how to create an ad, like on the ads platform, the thing we're going to be creating is the beginning of a Performance Max ad. Now, Performance Max is the latest tool that Google has created for advertising, and anyone, including us small businesses, can actually do these types of ads. And for the most part, they're genius, because what they do is that they provide the user with whatever experience the user wants. So if the user is looking for a certain thing and they happen to be on YouTube, if you've got the product or a service that matches what that person is looking for, your ad can show up on that platform, even if you created it as a search ad. It's actually really cool. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's talk about the actual advertising itself. Remember, people are looking to discover. They are looking to discover. So ads are a great tool because discovery is how people live their lives. So in order to get started with ads, just a reminder, because everyone goes, oh, people want answers. And I'm like, actually, there's a reason why we love social media so much. And it's not because we like cat videos. It's because we're looking for novelty. Everyone is looking for something other than what they already know. We already know toilet paper brands. We already know we can get it at Costco. We just don't know what a commercial relationship would look like. We don't know how to get it from a big supplier. And so if we don't know these things, then we have to turn to Google for answers, right? So in order to get started with ads, we're going to start out at google.com/ads. So I'm going to go on over to google.com/ads. I'm going to do it the old fashioned way because I want you to see the main page. Now, I'm going to show you the inside of Google's and how it works and everything, but this is what happens when you show up on the main page. Now, before we get started, I want to tell everyone the thing that you're interested in before this little big announcement. Yay! Choose your offer and get up to $2,500 in ads credit. Google is currently running a choose your own adventure ads credit. So if I click on this choose now, you will see you have the ability to do $1,000, $1,500, or $2,500 as a sign-in bonus. I always get a little scared about cheating here and telling you that even if you've run ads before, you can still get this credit. So people always like for the first 60 days, if it's your first time running ads, you can get this credit, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is if you're getting started with your very first campaign and how it works. Ooh, because I've done this before. So Natalia, that's fantastic. Natalia's like, mine says 500, 750, and 1,000. Mine says 500, 1,000, and 1,500. It's because I've done this before. I've already got an ads credit. So if you haven't, you're going to get that lower offer, which is great. Go ahead with the entry offer at 500. It's like, Lindsay, you've done this before. We're going to start you at 1,000. And so what it means is that if you spend $500, or if you spend, for me, $1,000, then what Google will do is essentially match that for you. So if you spend it first, they'll give you $1,000, and it is 100% legitimate. And it's not $1,000 in cash; it's $1,000 in credit towards your next ad. So essentially, you'll get $2,000 worth of ads for the price of 1,000. It's kind of nice. Or you'll get $1,000 worth of ads for the price of 500. So just so that you know, because I know you guys care about that. So when you first get logged in, big, huge thing I say in every single workshop, you need to know which email address you're using. You should use the same email address to run your ads that you use to run your Google Business Profile. So whatever email address you're using for your Google Business Profile, use the same one for your ads. If you use a different email address, you won't be able to see your Google profile when you log into your ads, like when you create your ads. And that's important because if your profile is up to date, Google will actually pull information from your profile to populate your ads. And remember, I said that the Performance Max ads are special. They're kind of fun and awesome, and they pull a lot of content and they give people a great user experience. One of the ways that they do that is if it's connected to your Google profile, and it can pull a lot of dynamic information from that profile. So magic there, make sure you're using the same email address, and also just know which email address you're using, because again, I get the calls from people, Google took away my ads. I don't know why they did that. And I'm like, did you get an email or something? And they're like, no, I just go to log in and I can't find them. And they're not using the right email address. So make sure you're logged in with the right email address, and that is how you get to your ads. So once you have created an ads account, you can hit sign in, and I have 18 ads accounts. So it automatically is like, which one do you want to look at? Now, this is my, yes, you can, Shavonda. Shavonda asked, can you change your email address? Yes, you can. So you can also just start under a different email address. So this screen here, I try to show y'all all my secrets. So this is, if for this email address, which is my main one for my business, it is a Google Workspace email. So it shows up like a Gmail account for Google. It has new Google Ads account, or go with one of the ones that you've already created. If I click on new Google Ads account, then it will create a new account, and then I'll get the opportunity to do that ads match thing that I was telling you about. So that's why I said, even if you've done this before, you can just create a new account, and it will sit here just like this. It'll show up just like this, and you create it, and then you can be able to click into it at that later date, the next day. So Timothy, this is the beautiful thing about ads. You will not need to do anything to pay for anything until the very, very, very last step. So if you are running ads, or if you want to learn how to do this right now and you're like, but I ain't got no money today to run ads, we can still go through it. So even with Heather, who is like, I don't know what I want to do ads for, you can still go through this process with me and figure out how to do it. And then when you're ready, you can actually go ahead and get yourself started. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach. I'm not here to judge. What is it? We listen and we don't judge. So I'm here to teach. And if you have the money now to get started, go for it. If you don't worry about it. Plus, Tim, I'm sure that there's something you can be working on your website or on your social media to make you even more fit to run ads in the future. That's what we want. So in addition to having these ads accounts or being able to start a new one, you can also switch accounts. So if I hit switch accounts, it's going to ask me which of my many email addresses do I want to use to start my ads. So if I click on my digital coaches email, which is the one I like to use for class, then it's going to go, oh, you've already started a campaign. You don't, oh, it says you don't have one. Create a new account. So that's what we're going to do. New account, brand new, nothing doing. And because it said I didn't have anything. It's why I like using this one. This is exactly what it should look like if you're starting new, brand new from scratch. It should say start your first campaign, and it should look just like this. So I know we all got our different ads numbers and everything, but everything else should look just like this if you're starting out brand new. Okay. So let me go back to the presentation and show you the next few steps. When you first log in, it's going to automatically be in smart mode. So it's going to walk you through a wizard where you put in the information for your business, and it's going to ask you for your website, and it's going to create a little preview page. So let's talk about those things real quick. So I'm going to create my first campaign, and then it's going to ask me for my business name. Now, if I start typing in a business name here right now, it is going to see if I have do you have a Google business profile associated with this email address? So I'm going to see if I can, let me go ahead and put in Rita's Total Body Clinic. So I told you I was going to use your businesses. So I put in Total Body Clinic, and because I don't have the Google business profile for this business, nothing populated here. This email address is not associated with any Google profile. But if I did, it should start popping up right here and go, oh, is this your business? And then I would say, yes, this is my business. And then it would be like, great, we can have all this other information associated with your business. So because I don't, we're going to just stick with this. It's just going to say Total Body Clinic. Go to my website. So what should people do after clicking your ad? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to call your phone number? Or do you want them to go to your app and download? Most of you here are in the call or website category. What you need to understand here is that go to my website does not, thank you, Rita. Rita was like, I got you. I'm gonna put all the rest of my information in here. So you do not have to have Google Workspace. You absolutely do not have to have Google Workspace to run ads. So do you want to just let me go to Rita's website, Total Body Clinic, Chicago. Of course it didn't finish because I'm not in Chicago. It was like, why are you looking for a Total Body Clinic in Chicago? Is it my Total Body Clinic? Is that it? Is this you, Rita? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so this is Rita. So Total Body Clinic, my Total Body Clinic, this is Rita. Now, should I just copy this URL and stick it here? The answer is no, you should not. What you should do is determine what that SMART goal was. Remember earlier when I said, what do you want to happen? You should not ever send someone to your homepage from an ad because there is nothing about your homepage that's specific. And remember, the first letter in SMART is specific. So let's go to appointment. Let's pretend that Rita is actually going to try to run her ad to get people to book an appointment at the Total Body Clinic. So I am going to click on that and put that in here. Rita, thank you for having a well-organized website. So I'm going to put book an appointment. See what we're doing here? And then on this page, when somebody lands on it, it's got the address and it's got the welcome. It's got the whether or not we want to do an office visit, telehealth, injections, labs, all of the great options right there. So if I'm Rita, I'm with you, girl. This is like the best. So if I'm Rita, I'm gonna run this to book an appointment. Now, hopefully Rita's got a whole SMART goal in here to help me with the rest of this plan. But even if she doesn't, I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make it up as we go, Rita. Okay, so I'm going to hit next. Everyone, again, y'all can be following along. Where on your website is there some sort of instant, easy, really realistic call to action about your business? Now, this is why Google is amazing for ads. I don't own this business. I am just using Rita as an example. Rita and I have never met. She's in Chicago. I have been to Chicago about 95 times, but I have never met Rita. And so but Google immediately popped a description in here about what the business does. It immediately had specific products. It had the page for people to go to. It had the Instagram account. It had the Facebook profile. Look at this. This is what I'm saying. So when you use your own website and you have a really well organized website, so like I said, Timothy, don't sleep on getting yourself ready, because if you have a really well organized website that's got great information on it, what Google does is it just pulls that information directly from your website and it pops it in here. So what I'm going to do is just do a little bit of editing, because it just took the URL and it is just Total Body Clinic, not my Total Body Clinic. We believe in achieving optimal health, and wellness is a journey that requires personalized care and support. I love this. So we got our example, we've got the weight loss, we've got the thing here, and then we can hit next. So let's pretend that that review is perfect. Obviously, you would want to read through it and make sure that it was actually awesome and that it actually was accurate. And if it was, then great. Then it's going to pull all this other information. It's going to pull a phone number from the website. It's going to pull from from the email address and my internet. It's going to pull my YouTube channel. And so you're going to, instead of it's going to show up with your info instead of it showing up with mine, right? So it's going to show which YouTube channel it thinks is associated with you, and you're going to link it. Yes, link the YouTube channel. Yes, give it a phone number. Even if you think you are like, I'm not going to need that. That's not why I'm running this campaign. That's not the point. Google has an algorithm that's job is to give your information to the right people at the right time. If they're asking you what your YouTube channel is, just tell them. Like, if the information is being requested, I promise you it's worth it. And it's not a secret or anything. Okay, good, Timothy. Timothy is like, I design websites for a living. But sir, I know from personal experience, I have designed many a website, and you don't even want to know what my website looks like right now. It would be sad. Don't even go there. And so, so don't. So I will trust you that your website is good. Now, this is where the Google Business Profile comes in handy. It'll say, where's your Google Business Profile? And if you have an app, it's even going to ask you, where is the app on the Google Play Store, so that it can link to it. Y'all, it is amazing how it does all this information. So we're going to hit the next button. And this is where we choose the goal. So let's catch up. So I want us to be walking. I hope y'all are going through this process with me, because it's like there's so many things that you can do with these ads. So Natalia is asking, when it comes to leads, it has the goals. Okay, we're going to get that in a second. Natalia, that was a perfectly placed question. Let me jump to it. So remember when I said it's going to say enter the website. This will not, it's not may not, it says this might not be your land. It's not. I promise you, do not use the home page for your website. Use a specific other page that is directly related to whatever you want to accomplish. So if you're trying to sell a children's book, then you shouldn't send people to the home page for the children's book. You should send them to the description of the book with the link to buy on the page. Like, that's where you should send them. Or if you're trying to send them to, you sell all of the janitorial supplies and you're trying to get them to buy toilet paper, you're going to send them to either the category page for toilet paper or to the specific page that has the exact toilet paper you're trying to sell. You do not want to send them to a big, section that's like choose your own adventure, because they ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna choose. They're just gonna leave. Okay, so now your homepage. Going to get to your landing page preview, and then it's going to ask you for a goal. So in here in the slide deck, this is part of the reason why I like to show and tell, is that the ads move faster than my slides get updated. So as you see here, it's got 4 options, but when we go over to ads, we have more than 4 options. We've got a few. So if you did not, so Natalia, if you didn't click the button to go to more, you'll see that there's a lot of options in here. So to answer your question, when it comes to leads, it has a goal as to contact, phone number. What do you want to have happen? So this is back to the previous question about what are leads. For some of us, leads are someone filling out a form. For some of us, leads are people walking into our store. So for Tom, who runs a winery, he might have a lead be someone who walks into the winery. So he might be trying to get foot traffic, and that is an option. And so if you're trying to get foot traffic, then you want to be directing people towards getting directions. So it might seem like I'm being obtuse and saying it's what you determine, but it is what you determine. There's request a quote, there's book an appointment, there's make a phone call, there's submit a lead form. So they're filling out a form. There's sign up pages for a newsletter or a free trial, adding something to a cart. What is it that you determine to be a lead? It is not just a lead. That's why the term is great, but it doesn't mean anything at the same time. It is whatever it is we want is what a lead is. And then for the people who are like, I just want more people to know what the business is, that also is a possibility, right? So we have to determine what it is we want people to do. And then sometimes you want page views, but it's very rare because page views just means someone looked at my page. It doesn't mean they did anything. And I'm a big fan of they did something that I could track. Like they did something that I can track. So the lead section, contact, book an appointment, request a quote, get directions, outbound click to a partner website, or sign up for something. Those are your leads options because that's what a lead is. And then your core options are at the top. So I'm going to click submit a form, and it's that there. So based on the review of your website, we'll optimize the campaign for this action to this page. That is exactly what we want. So we're going to hit next, and then it's going to add themes. So I'm going back and forth between the presentation and this, but I'm going to stick here for a minute so that we can make sure, because it seems like a lot of you are going through this process with me, and I want you to go through it with me. The more you actively do this stuff, the easier it will be for you to go back in and do it again when you're ready. So Danielle is asking, can I select more than one? No, but you can run as many campaigns as you want. So if you want to create a campaign where the objective of this campaign is people filling out that form, and then let's say the objective of another, because she has products on this, Rita has products on her website. Let's say the objective of the next campaign is the Buy Pro enzyme, right? Buy Prozyme. My brain read that really slow. So maybe the next ad is actually to get people to buy and add this to their cart. Then she can create another campaign where people add this to their cart. Okay. You can select more than one. You can just do it in a different campaign. Todd, why are you trying to move ahead? Don't spoil my fun, Todd. Okay, so from here we're gonna start creating themes. Now, back in the old days, those of us in small business land used to get really confused because it was a super high level like concept of keywords, and you had to do research and all this stuff, and you ain't got to do that no more. So if you are simply selling weight loss for people, then you're going to type in weight loss. And what it's going to do is actually, it's going to search. Okay, let's just, for Rita, this is an interesting ad campaign because Google has it has a couple of things that they don't love doing advertising for. Medical stuff and medical stuff, and then anything related to drugs are like really, really difficult for Google to do any sort of advertising on. But that's because for the medical stuff, they want it to be an authority, like an actual medical professional, and not someone selling snake oil, which is its own problem, as we know. And so if you're going to do advertising around medical stuff, you have to make sure that you're not doing any medical claims. You can do political ads, but again, it has to be done in a very specific way. So all of these things are like, you can do them. You just have to figure out how. And then of course you can't sell anybody's version of sex. Thank you, Rita. Rita's like, but I'm a doctor. I believed you. I didn't think anything. I'm just saying, Google is going to have their own problems. So Tara's asking, hey Tara, I actually know Tara, like now that I'm saying your name, does it have to be indexed? No. And matter of fact, doing the ads is probably going to get it indexed, or you can just go to your Google Search Console and index it. Like you can just hit the button in the Google Search Google Search Console to get them to index your page. If you know what indexing is, then you probably understood what I just said. So it does not have to be indexed. They will allow ads for alcohol. It's just that you have to put a caveat on the page. Wherever someone's landing for an alcohol ad, they have to have the little thing that says they're 18. That's the caveat for alcohol. They're trying to figure the whole thing out for marijuana since it's legal in a lot of states, but it's very challenging. Okay. So you're going to put in your categories and then you're going to put in your location. See, I am not in Cook County, but boy, oh boy, they're smart. So they figured that Rita, who is in Cook County, actually wants people to come to somewhere near her. So you're going to pick your location for your ad. You're going to pick your theme. You can pick up to 25 themes. I love that. It's like, fix it. It wants me to give more themes. So I'm going to put, what does we this website say? Because it's the best thing for me to do is wellness, healthy eating, healthy living. Okay, so it's going to review all of these terms. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to want to review all the terms because those terms are just challenging. It's going to want the review. Let me see if I'll get it to go for healthy living. Doing a review is not a problem. Honestly, I've had plenty of reviewed ads because I've helped people run ad campaigns for all manner of things. And so the challenge is just that you have to create the ad like we're doing here, and then you would go back and like go and actually go under review for all the stuff that they think you want to be reviewed for. Okay. So if it does say review, oh, digestion. That's a good digestive. Hey, look at y'all giving me keywords. Thank you. I saw them a little bit too late. Okay. I'm trying to go through. Okay. So Todd is asking, how do I deal with what people call my thing? So y'all, I love the fact that we're here. So before I move forward, this is one of the reasons why I do the show and tell. What Google does for you when you show them the landing page, it creates your descriptions, it creates your headlines, it creates this stuff for you. So all of these were filled in by Google. They built them based on the page. And if I had the Google Business Profile, all of the business call outs would be in here already. So call, email, all of those things will be built in because Google would have pulled that information from the Google Business Profile. It can pull images for it can run ads. This is the reason why we love these campaigns. It can run them on YouTube, Gmail, search, display, and discover. Anywhere that ads can be run, when you run a campaign like this, those ads can show up. Okay, it is that simple. So when you create your ads and you get specific, it's fine. It's fantastic. Sarah, yes, they are still doing the grants. You just have to go through the grant process. If you know what there are definitely people still getting them. So, okay, looking for someone, Dahlia, if anybody in the chat can answer Dahlia's question, y'all better be talking to her about her website because she's trying. Okay, so everyone here, you guys are getting the point. At this point, I'm going to hit next. There might be something in here that it's not filling in, but I want to get to the point where we can start getting narrower. So it wants me to fix something. It wants me to pick an image. And once I pick an image, it's going to say I'm good, dismiss. It wants a logo. So if you don't have a logo that it's pulling, it's going to ask you for a logo. It's going to ask for your business name. It's going to ask for different site links. It's going to ask for a lot of information that I am not going to be able to give it because I'm not Rita. The next thing that happens is that it's going to ask you for your bidding strategy. Now, remember when I said that the goal is to compete with fewer people? Part of that is by being strategic about where you run your ads. So you do not have to run your ads to everywhere in the United States. It's actually much better for you if you get specific, because also if you get specific, then Google can do what it did here, which is actually put the names and locations in there for people. Like it can get really, really specific. It's kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. Okay. They pull the pictures from the profile and from your website. So if you have your Google profile updated, it will pull from both of those places. So when it says write your ads, add your keyword themes, select your location, set your budget, this is if you want to create, let me finish my sentence. This is where you determine, because I can't show you this screen, down at the very bottom of the screen, it says set your own budget. Y'all, this is what you want to do. You want to set your own budget. You do not want to let Google tell you what the budget is. You're going to set your own budget, and you're going to set that budget and put a date in the future that you want this campaign to end, not just when you want it to start. I do not believe in running campaigns forever and ever. Amen. I want you to get to the point where your campaigns, your advertising campaigns are gravy for your business. They're not your bread and butter. Mostly because advertising campaigns change and how much they cost. And so campaigns are not always the same cost all the time. You might have a new competitor who comes into play, and then your ads get more expensive because your competition has shifted. People get weird and they just think Google is randomly charging them extra money over one thing or another, not realizing that part of the problem slash just life situation is that you're not the only person doing this, right? So you're not the only person running ads. And so if someone else comes in right now, a lot of you are not running ads. When you start running ads, you're going to be competing against someone who didn't have any competition before. And so now their ads are going to get more expensive. That's how this works. So don't go, I mean, you can blame Google if you want, but remember, this is not personal. They do not know who you are. And so if you feel like it's personal, you're doing it wrong, okay? You're doing it wrong. There is some factor that it's not just random, arbitrary. They do not have the time. If you could imagine, this multinational corporation has the time to just be like, let's charge Lindsay an extra 50 cents this month for ads that I'm running a total of $200 worth of ads. They ain't even paying no attention to me. And so so don't think like that when your ads go up to 215. It is not arbitrary. There's just more competition. Okay. Okay. So you're going to get to review your ads. You're going to edit anything that needs to be edited. You set up your billing at this point, Timothy. That's when you set up your billing. You do not set it up before. You set it up here. And then when you're ready, you can actually switch over to expert mode and see tons and tons and tons and tons of detail. So there's lots of stuff you can do once you're in expert mode, okay? You can have a lot more granular campaign settings. There's just more things you can do. Now, to answer the question that Todd asked earlier, the best way to improve your ads is actually to plan in advance. You know you're going to have 3 headlines, you're going to have 2 descriptions. Yes, the AI can be extremely helpful, but what I want you to do is plan for it. So you can go ahead and get tips. You can get tips. You can also use Google, the Google Trends to figure out what keywords are popping in your area, especially if you're not from your region that you're in, because I'm not from Ohio, I'm from St. Louis. And so when I'm advertising certain terms, I have to look them up in Google Trends to make sure that's what people call it in Ohio. So make sure that you're using the right terms for stuff. And then again, searching out different keywords. These are all things that you can do to get a little bit more advanced. You can have negative keywords, you can do exact phrasing. All of these things are still possible within Google Ads. And then once you're in that advanced setting, there's the Google Keyword Planner. So most of you probably thought that I was going to spend the whole hour talking about this stuff when this is like the stuff you need to do a year from now. You don't even worry about this right now. Run your smart campaigns for a while and then worry about doing all the other stuff. A lot of the assets now Google does in the Performance Max campaigns, just using your Google profile and using your website. So it's just kind of fantastic. So to what Todd said, if you know what your goals are, then analytics is your best friend. And yes, you can actually have your Google Analytics set up to your ad campaign. And you do that in either direction. You can set it up in Google Ads to go to your analytics, and you can set it up in analytics to pull your Google Ads. The easiest way for this to work is if you're using the same email address for both. So this is, again, my advocacy for you to use the same email address across all of these things. Add this, you can add the email address in, you can do whatever you want to do to make sure that you are the same email address across these platforms, because you want to know when someone clicks on your ad or views your ad, you also want to know what they did on your website. And the ads analytics is only going to tell you what they did with the ad. Your website analytics is what's going to tell you what they did on the website. Okay. Yes, Susan, it does have to be a Gmail address. It doesn't have to be a Gmail address. It either has to be a Gmail address or a Google Workspace account. But remember, Gmail addresses are free. So if you want to get a Gmail address, it's completely free. So again, you have all these reports that you can do. You can track your conversion, but once you link those analytics and the ads, you will be able to track conversions all the way through to an activity on your website, not just using their little code, but you can use it to track whatever people did from your ads on your website, where they clicked around to a bunch of different things on your website, all of that jazz. Okay. So if it shows that you were having a previous ad running, so Shavonda's like, what happens if I had a previous ad running? Remember, all I had to do was click new campaign and it started brand new, as if I had never created a campaign before. That's all you have to do. When it comes in and it says new campaign already set up, these are your campaigns to choose from. You can click on the little button underneath that says new campaign. So I've gone over a bunch of stuff, actually showed you how ads work. I picked random arbitrary business to show you all the different things that ads can do. And I hope that you all understand. We're random and arbitrary, but awesome. Thank you, Rita, for showing me for helping us work through all of this. If you want to know more, you can head over to our YouTube channel at Grow with Google, or you can head over to the SCORE YouTube channel. I personally love the SCORE one because I'm on there. I'm on both of them, but I'm also on the SCORE website. So what I want you to do, and I always ask this in the chat, if you could tell me what you're going to do. What did you learn? What did you get out of this? So I hope that you all learned something. Tell me what you learned in the chat in the last 30 seconds of this workshop. What did you learn? What are you going to do? If you want, you can actually get some certificates to help you along on your journey. There's more classes offered by Grow with Google. I hope you have an action plan. I'm working on my Google. Thank you, Todd. Yay. Do not go to your homepage. Y'all, true knowledge. That's it. True. That's true. That's it. Okay, couple ads to get them to the right landing pages. Be smart. Do the smarts. Okay, I think I've said everything I need to say. Let me stop sharing. You guys can keep sharing. I want to know what you got. Smart, tailored, don't blindly run ads. These are all great things. Fantastic. Okay, thank you. I think I'm done if you want to take back over.
Okay. Lindsay, thank you as always for an absolutely awesome presentation. I just want to remind everybody that the slides and the recording will be sent to you in a few days. The stuff on the YouTube channel, Lindsay, is not immediately available. You said something about that at the beginning. I just have to clarify. We have a contractor who will pull that video down and polish it and put some SCORE information in it. So give it about a week. And everyone who attended this session will get a link to the polished recording with Lindsay's Pearls of Wisdom, and also her slides. Remember that if you want a SCORE mentor, go to score.org and click on request a mentor. Thank you, everybody, for attending this session, and please come back to see our future webinars. Have a good evening. I'm closing the webinar now.